Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends and family of the Moawad Foundation. Though you are living very far away, I know how much Lebanon is still close to your hearts. Despite everything, despite the ugliness of what we are living through, despite the horrors of the Beirut blast, the impunity, the corruption, the poverty, the robbing of the money of the Lebanese people, your money, the daily assaults on human dignity, and sometimes the overwhelming requests for help. Despite the fact that you are not recognizing anymore the country that you love, despite the alien culture they are trying to impose on us, and despite the endless battles and the fact that sometimes, or even often, we are not seeing the end of the tunnel. But does all this mean that we should give up on Lebanon? Maybe in some days of despair, some of us would be pushed to say yes. Khalas, enough is enough. But if someone of your family, a father, a mother, a daughter, a son, a brother, a sister, is ill, however ill he is, or whatever the prospects, would you give up on him or her? I know the answer. And that is why we should never give up on Lebanon, whatever the difficulties. I personally have decided to fight despite the adversity and despite the dangers. And some of you always tell me you're crazy. You know why? Because I believe in the Lebanese people. I believe that we can do it. And your success stories here in America have proven me right. You are the best example that I am right to believe in the Lebanese people, and that people, once given the opportunity, can do successes that we are all proud of. So thank you for being here, and thank you for representing the true Lebanon. I have decided to fight, and I call upon you to join this fight so that together we can rebuild our Lebanon, the Lebanon of democracy, diversity, the rule of law, accountability, and most importantly, human dignity. Dear friends and family, this fight cannot be only humanitarian. I am aware of that. No NGO can replace the state and institutions. It has to be first and foremost a fight for political change, and we are fighting this uphill battle. We know the difficulties, but I am sure we will prevail. But while doing so, we cannot abandon the Lebanese people to their fate during these times of tragedy and hardship they are going through. We need to alleviate their suffering and do everything we can to protect their dignity and keep them rooted in their land. Because there will be no Lebanon if there are no more Lebanese in Lebanon. I know very well that you've heard many times the general facts and figures that prove how bad the situation is. You've heard that Lebanon is living one of the 3 worst economic crises in the history of humanity. You know that GDP has crumbled from about $44 billion in 2018 to less than $18 billion today in 4 years. That 80% of the Lebanese population is today living under the line of poverty. That the state budget has collapsed from $18 billion, more or less, in 2018 to less than $500 million today. Just to give you an example, the health ministry has a budget today of $40 million for the whole Lebanon. The Moawad Foundation has a budget of around 25 million. The health ministry, 40 million. Just imagine what does that mean to state services and what is happening to the population in Lebanon. Depositors have no access, or even worse, are being robbed of their money. This situation, as you all know, through your families, your friends, your cousins, the people in your entourage, has impacted dramatically each individual, each household, each business. Let me give you just a few examples. A teacher, and you know how proud we have been and we are of our educational system that is part of what we are, of the success story for those of you who started their lives in Lebanon. This educational system is what made us. A retired teacher, his or her pension today is $2,000, down from $200,000. A retired teacher only gets $2,000. The salary of a teacher that's not yet retired, or of a soldier, is of $50 a month. We've added to it now for the soldiers $100 per month given by the United States. It's the first time in history that a country pays the salaries of the army of another country. It had never happened. 350,000 children are today out of school because the teachers could not arrive in the public sector to their schools and are not teaching anymore. I want to tell you a story, if I may, of a young graduate from Zahle that RMF has helped in 2015 to start his company. We supported his startup in 2015. He came back voluntarily in 2017 to say, my startup started to work and I want to give back. And he proposed to pay $100 per month in 2017 to help other undergraduates start their startups. End of 2019, with the explosion of the crisis, he stopped paying because he couldn't afford anymore paying those $100 per month. And in 2022, he came to the foundation asking for a food parcel because he could not anymore pay for his food. This story, I believe, embodies the drama every Lebanese is living today in Lebanon. This is exactly what we are fighting for at RMF, protecting the human being in Lebanon, to protect his dignity so that the Lebanese stay rooted in their land. What does that practically mean? You have seen the video. That means, on the one hand, supporting the most vulnerable through health, social safety net, food security, cash for work programs. But also that means building up their capacities as responsible and productive citizens, because we don't want only to give a fish, but to teach people how to fish. Through our programs in agriculture, in SMEs, and supporting local sustainable economies, in education, and in other programs. Today, I am proud to be here before you to say that with your trust and support throughout the years, we have built a professional, efficient, transparent platform that is implementing programs all over Lebanon, from Akkar in the north to the extreme south on the border with Israel, from Beirut to the Bekaa and the border with Syria. We have broken the barriers of geographical, confessional, and political affiliation. We are today the only NGO in Lebanon that has partnered or is partnering with more than 50 international institutions, INGO, international donors, and diaspora organizations like ATFL, like the USAID, like the UN agency, and other international agencies. In 2022, our budget has reached $25 million, and around 500,000 people in Lebanon has directly benefited from our programs. I know you are doing a lot already to Lebanon, and I know very well how much you are doing to support the RMF. In fact, I want to tell you thank you for what you are doing to RMF and for what you are doing in Lebanon, because without our diaspora, which is our lifeline, the situation in Lebanon would have been much, 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 much worse. It wouldn't have been only poverty, it would have been hunger. The diaspora is sending, with a GDP of $17 billion, the diaspora is sending to Lebanon each year more than $7 billion, and we always forget to count for that. The diaspora is really representing 90% of the $5 billion that come through tourism. What we call tourism is actually a diaspora-based tourism. So it is really thanks to you that Lebanon or Lebanese are still alive, and I think that you deserve that we build a country that looks or that resembles you and your values. Today, may I ask you, and I know how much you've already supported, but I'd love for you to support more, a very crucial program that we have decided to launch as the René Moawad Foundation, the MedChronic program that I'm going to go through a video to explain what. The MedChronic program is a program we started at RMF just a few months ago to bring free medication and free medical services to chronic care patients. I'm not talking about cancer patients, I'm talking about chronic care, heart, cholesterol, diabetes, or other chronic diseases. And our aim is to reach 3,000 patients per month in the next few months. Why is this program paramount for us? You know that each household has no more means, and very often the chronic patients are skipping their monthly medication. And what has happened in the last few months is that death, because of these diseases, the death is rocketing. People, because they're not taking their medication, are dying more and more just because of diseases that are totally curable and normal in a normal country. This program is also paramount because we are leveraging the already existing health infrastructure of the René Moawad Foundation. We already have dispensaries, mobile dispensaries, that are covering more than 100 rural underprivileged villages in the northern Lebanon from Batroun to Akkar. And so this program is benefiting from this infrastructure that we are investing to this new program, and your support will go directly to the beneficiaries. 3, because there's a multiplying effect in helping patients in medication. Why? Because, first of all, we are covering villages that are not close to people getting their medication. So they're also getting a support in their transportation. And 2, you need to know that Lebanese in the rural villages do not have access to generic medication. So they buy the brands because they don't know how. They don't have access to that generic medication. So each time we're supporting through generic medication, there's a multiplier effect to the help we're giving to the Lebanese. The cost of this program is for 3,000 patients, $720,000 a year, which means $20 per patient per month. And this program, I know I'm going to get killed tonight. Sorry, my dear friend Ferris. But this program we started a month or 2 months ago, thanks to the donation of a very dear friend. Please, he's here, applaud him, Faris Nujaim. Who has donated $250,000 for this year for this program, and now has donated again $25,000. So $275,000, which is almost 40% of the program's cost. And thanks to him, we fundraised in the last few weeks another amount that brought us to $425,000. So what is lacking is $300,000 to be able to go up to 3,000 beneficiaries this year. I am very confident that tonight we will be able to raise those $300,000, and I'm counting on you. Thank you for listening. I know I've been a little bit long, but I wanted to share with you the details of that Medchronic program and explain the situation. I hope I have answered your questions, but you would have in the brochures on the table, on the USB also, more information about the program. And we will be running a quick video. But before I finish, I would like to thank the board of directors of RMF USA, under the leadership of Dr. Joe Jabra, who couldn't do it tonight, and of course our executive director. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I would like to salute your commitment to Lebanon and to the RMF. And of course, I would like to do a special thank you to our vice chair and the head of our Miami chapter. Thanks to you, Rima, everybody's reunited tonight. You're really an extraordinary woman, and your dedication humbles me and humbles all of us. And actually, that dedication brings us hope. And of course, thank you to each one of you. Yes, we are at the forefront of the battle, but our battle cannot be fought without you. We will fight this battle together to preserve hope. We will fight this battle together to rebuild our Lebanon. We will fight this battle together to build the values, the country that would give the opportunities you got outside of your country, that would give it to the Lebanese that are living inside, so that the Lebanese stay rooted in their land. And thank you.